going to be looking at people. I'm going to bring this up. And shout out to everybody that has been keeping me on my toes about this. So I'm going to talk about Leafgate. That's what I'm calling it. And the thing about it is like for years that when people who have raked their leaves to the curb, there was always a blower or something that was going to mulch the leaves. And this is the time where the leaves fall and fall. You know, we see them on the ground. And, you know, you want to pick the leaves up before the snow comes, right? So I'm going to tell you what happened with a couple of things this administration. Shout out to, and remember, and I do remember that I was supposed to interview, unfortunately, he couldn't make it, Chris Ronayne, who's running for Cuyahoga County Exec, against Lee Weigart, and he wasn't available. So hopefully we'll have, whoever wins, I'll have the winner circle coming up very soon. So I'm going to say this wholeheartedly. Leafgate. This is what I'm calling it. Now, like I said before, with the leaves have been mulched and, you know, especially for the older citizens of Cleveland, you know, you rake them to the curb, especially on the front. You know, I used to hate raking leaves, bag them in the back. I'm glad I live in an apartment complex, so I ain't got to worry about that no more. But when I was younger and when I was of age, I had to rake the leaves every fall. The leaves fall, I had to rake it, cut the grass, things of that nature. Structure for a young man of my age. Sometimes I made money by doing it, especially doing the older ladies' yard. So my thing was this. The Bibb administration, and unfortunately when it's the Bibb administration, it falls solely on the Mayor Justin Bibb, that they're no longer doing that you have to rake the leaves, put them in a specialized bag, and put them on the front lawn. So that machine is not coming around no more. Now, this is my thing, and this is where my disagreement comes in with Mayor Bibb. You got 60-year-old, 70-year-old people who have leaves on their lawn. Excuse me. You have people who are senior citizens in the city of Cleveland, by the way, that voted for you, who will suffer health crisis reasons because your Leafgate has caused a stir. And not just with the citizens of Cleveland, but I see some elected officials on my page, judges and other people who have expressed their, who are disgruntled, who have expressed opinions, negative opinions about this Leafgate. Listen, when we were all stuck in our homes around about, I think, when the first real big bad snowstorm hit, we were all stuck in our homes around about February, like January, February, and nobody could go nowhere, go to work, and whoever was at work was stuck at work because the buses weren't running because it was so bad outside. A lot of people were disgruntled with that. This was the first part of the Bibb administration when he got sworn in. But now this Leafgate this fall, you know, complex issues like the police commission and stuff like that, picking people for those things. You know, when you have people disagreeing like Black Lives Matter Cleveland, shout out to Kareem with the bullhorn, you know, making his voice heard. But when you have Simple Simon stuff like leaf pickup and mulching and things of that nature, that should just be a no-brainer. Hey, just keep the services the way that they are. Don't change anything. Just having people rake them to the leaves or have somebody, because now you got people who can't afford the specialized bags having to go get specialized bags because they don't want their leaves in, because they want a beautiful lawn and they don't want to get fined by the city for having the lawn messed up. Or they just don't want the leaves to rot and go into their lawn, keep their lawn beautified away from the leaves. And, especially in the back and the front, you had that stuff, especially in the front lawn. Here's the thing. I'm sending a, how can I put it to you like this? I'm sending an SOS to the Bibb administration, particularly Mayor Justin Bibb. The same people that are upset about this Leafgate thing, that your stance on that, are the same people that voted for you. Let me explain that for the other Bibb administration and the Bibb supporters in the back that either are not listening to me or don't want to. The same people that you're making upset right now are the same people that voted for you, Mayor Bibb. I understand that it is what it. I understand that you, the administration, you are here, but you are the administration. You have to dictate some things, but you are here to serve the people. And if it's a miniature thing like that, you not only you have judicial figures expressing their discomfort with this, you also having your city council people displeased with it. If you don't believe me, you can ask them, from Joe Jones to the city council president, Blaine Griffin, to Ward, city council member, council leader, Ward 12, Rebecca Moore, and her constituents, to everybody else. I understand. And by the way, while you out there pushing, I understand the Democrats are pushing Chris Ronayne for Cuyahoga County executive. Did you have Chris Ronayne, when I email his administration for an interview, don't wait until the day of, or to the day of my show, or don't wait until like a couple hours later saying we can't make it. I'm not chasing nobody. And here's my thing. I'm just going to say this about the whole Leafgate thing. You can keep people happy if you go by this statement. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You can tweak it. You can fix, if it's broke, you can tweak it. You can tweak it to make it better. But if it's not broke right now, get the leaves up for the people. Just get the leaves up for the people. That's all you got to like. And if it makes your voters happy, by the way, this is an election year for everything, including governor. If it makes your voters happy, if it makes your party happy, that people are getting leaves, you getting the leaves up for the people, guess what? Get the leaves up for the people. Damn. Clear the snow out the way so people can go to work. It's a simple Simon. This is a simple Simon. I don't know. It's keep it simple. KIS. Just keep it simple. Don't change anything about the public services. You hold them accountable if these people are not doing their jobs as far as not picking them up, but don't shut it down. You had a lot of people in the All-Star game All-Star break, where a lot of African-American businesses couldn't make money after hours because you kept it to certain areas. Okay, that's another thing. You want to make sure that there was public safety, police officers don't have enough police and things of that nature. But the leaves, man. The leaves, Justin, the leaves, man. Get the leaves up. You want volunteers? You want people to work off their sentences in Cuyahoga County? Have them volunteer to pick the leaves up, man. Especially nonviolent offenses. By the way, 2 people died in Cuyahoga County Jail. One man who was 32, one woman who was 37, and they were both being held on non-violent offenses. It's enough is enough. And the thing about it is, I don't care who, I'm like, yeah, I do care who wins Calgary County Executive. But here's the thing, though. I'm glad Armand Budish is leaving. Because there's too many deaths you're going to have too many deaths in Cuyahoga County Jail. What, 18, 19? How? And the Cuyahoga County Executive appoints the sheriff. The people should elect the sheriff. The people should elect the sheriff, should elect the executive, just like they elect the mayor, just like they elect the Cuyahoga County Executive. Leaves, man. Everybody getting and it's like, it's not a big deal. It's like some people say it's not a big deal issue. But to some people who depend on that, it is a big deal issue because they rate the leaves that get picked up by that service is not available. They had to do something different. They had to get specialized bags. If the city can't provide them, they had to get specialized bags to take the leaves out. And the thing about it is some of the people who are homeowners are senior citizens who have pushed to have that, and people are upset about it. And let me just explain something. It could be the simplest thing that could trigger people into not voting for people. Let me just say that. It could be the simplest thing. You can trigger people by even talking about somebody else because they did it. For example, I got, my personal experience, got lied to and stuff like that, and somebody got triggered because I said I got lied to by somebody else. It's like, well, if you did this, and like, wait a minute, hold on. That's because I found out from their past that they did this to somebody and ghosted them on some cash or whatever. So a dog don't holler unless it's hit. But also, you can cause a lot of triggers for people. It's like, wait a minute, he's taking the leaves away? No, I ain't voting for him. People remember that. City of Cleveland has long memories. If we can remember all the bad things in sports, we can remember all the bad. Like if they remember the Cuyahoga, the river catching on fire back in the 70s, they remember that. They gonna remember some leaves, especially if they got to rake them themselves and pay somebody to do that. Like I said, volunteer somebody to do that. Like I said, it's like it spent too much on that particular one issue when people will remember things that happened during the course of the administration. Now, City of Cleveland is forgiving because there was a lot of instances in the Mayor Jackson administration that happened, but people were pushing for Frank because there were no other alternatives. They remember Zach's drinking and driving. They remember Jeff Johnson's corruption. They remember some of those things that held him back. And of course, you can make mistakes in the campaign where you get the wrong endorsement from somebody, and that pushes you to where people are like, he endorsed you and you ain't say no. I'm going over here. You gotta see. Be careful. Now, the thing about it is like, and be careful who you alienate. Then that means the people who you alienated the most, who supported you, you always hurt the ones you love, the people that wanted you in there. Mayor Bibb, this is to you. The ones that wanted you in there are the ones that you're hurting the most, especially with this leave thing. And the thing about it is like the announcement could have been made back when there were no leaves on the ground back in July or in August. It was made now, where the leaves are fully falling off and on the ground. So make no particular mistake about it. People have long memories, especially older people. They put that in a memory bank. And the ones that supported you will turn quickly. Trust me. I had the same experience. And I'm just going to say this. It's not fun. Even if you supported them. You make one small statement that you were hurt and people that you supported will turn on you quickly and you ain't did nothing to them, but it triggered something in them that you can't control. Control the things that you can control, especially in the Bibb administration, the services. But if you cannot, excuse me. But the one thing that you cannot control is the way people feel about you. The one thing you have to do is give out the services for people. Now, let's just be honest. People are going to be jerks no matter what. But the one thing you got to remember is this. If you give them the services, some people will be grateful and leave the services where they are. What's up, Blaine? How are you doing tonight? Shout out to Blaine Griffin. And Councilman Blaine Griffin. Blaine, if you can tell the mayor that I said that we needed to have a discussion on my show, I'll be more than happy to talk about the Leafgate and other things that's going around in the city of Cleveland that people are upset about. So have them give me a call, or you give me a call. This is Returning the Back. We'll be right back on Headlines and Headaches on voiceofradio.com.